In number 10 we got Jelena Karlusha. She's a singer and pretty much all around star in Serbia, and it seems she's been at the top of her game for over 20 years. In fact, she's apparently so influential, Jelena actually claims both Kim Kardashian and Beyonce copied her style. Which, I mean, I don't know if that's an insult. Like, if they're copying you, that means they're obviously doing something right, you know? Either way, I could say they're definitely copying her Photoshop skills, because this girl's skin does not look as flawless in real life. I'm not even trying to hate on her, even though I fully am. I just think it's crazy how unrealistic they make her look. I mean, let's be real, guys. Jelena isn't the one sitting there editing her own photos. She definitely has a team that's just doing it without her even having a say in it. That's going to be the case with almost everyone on this list, but regardless, let's move on. We got Jonah Hill in at number 9. Now, going through Jonah's Instagram, it seems the guy changes his looks on a daily basis. Although he's known for wearing some of the coolest clothes and having the craziest yet sickest style out there, second to me, it'd be hard to recognize him in person. In some photos he's got long slick back blonde hair, in other photos he's got a buzz cut and a big beard. Although he doesn't seem to necessarily Photoshop his photos, it seems due to the fact that he's constantly changing what he looks like in general. It'd be hard to immediately spot him out in public. He's also standing at just 5'7", but compared to photos on Instagram, he seems to be a bit taller. Not to say he's short, I mean I'm only 5'9", but in comparison to everyone he's usually seen photographed with, he doesn't seem to be that short. Turns out that's not the case. He's, I guess, average. I feel like average is 6 foot. I don't know. Speaking of height, let's talk about number 8, Tom Cruise. This guy has got to be one of the staples of Hollywood. He's been in the game for decades, has had countless blockbuster films, and he's got that $1 million Tom Cruise smile. But when you see a photo of him, you'd think he's a lot taller, like a suave type of guy. Turns out he's not. Although he's the same height as Jonah Hill, coming in at 5'7", you'd think based on some photos that he's like at least 6 foot or 6'1", 6'2". He also seems to be quite built, but in reality, he's actually a pretty small guy. Even in films, if you haven't been able to tell, he's usually not seen standing next to a ton of his co-stars. That way you won't be able to notice the difference in his height and size, well at least in film. In person, well, that's a totally different story. If you see the guy in person, he's actually a pretty small dude, both height-wise and muscle-wise. But he should probably fight Justin Bieber. That'd be a pretty funny fight. And at number 7, we got Blac Chyna. She's been caught photoshopping her photos more than once, and it seems for the most part when she does, she's making her legs a bit thinner, as you can see in this failed Photoshop. The door is clearly wavy, unless that's a new style of wood. I don't know. Either way, aside from the photoshopping, her skin is not as smooth as it may appear in some photos, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm simply saying she would look different in person than she does in a photo. That's all. This video is a very touchy subject, so let me make it clear, I'm not hating on anyone for their looks, even though it may seem like that's exactly what I'm doing. Cause it is. At number 6, Ryan Seacrest. I mean, come on guys, aside from Bradley Cooper of course, no one could look this perfect. The guy's got the whitest smile in the world, and it seems like he's never aged. From his American Idol days to his daytime show with Kelly Ripa, it seems like this guy's got it made. But even watching some clips from his podcast on YouTube, you can clearly see Seacrest doesn't look the same compared to his photos. Usually his skin seems a lot smoother overall, and he seems to be a lot more tanned. With that being said, when you're always on camera, you're going to have a ton of makeup on, so don't be surprised if you were to look a little old and more pale in person compared to him on TV or even YouTube. Side note, I don't put on makeup before I do my videos, so if you guys see me in person, this is what I'll look like. Maybe a bit shorter than you imagine. I'm 5'9", it's not that short, but you know, this is just me. I don't really do much, and I wear hats when I have bad hair days. I'll show you, I'm not ashamed. It's also cold outside. And at number 5, Beyonce. Now Beyonce has literally been dubbed the queen for many years. She seems to be literal perfection, and I'm prepared to get a lot of hate for having her on this list by her loyal fans, but that's alright, I got a job to do. Beyonce has been caught photoshopping her photos a handful of times as well, usually trying to make herself a little more curvy, which I don't understand because her body is insane. Sorry Jay, don't be mad, I'm not trying to like, you know. But many people seem to think she's literally glowing 24/7, and I hate to break it to you guys, but in photographs, well that's what lighting will do for you. Videos too. I mean, even here we got big lights. I don't always look this perfect. So not to say she isn't going to be beautiful in person, but she might not be as vibrant if that's the word I'm looking for. She'll also look much older. Lighting can help with wrinkles and all that, and if she's walking around in the daylight, well I can tell you guys right now she won't have the same godly aura she has. Coming at number 4, Brad Pitt. I know, who would have thought he'd be on this list? Well, we're complete savages today. Now, Brad Pitt has been considered one of Hollywood's daddies for a long time. Haha, daddy. Brad Pitt, you're so zaddy. Another one of these guys who seems to change his looks up quite often. Pitt has been seen with a clean-cut, short-haired style, you know, a fresh face kind of look, and then he's also got like the long-haired, scruffy look. Either way, he's managed to look fairly young for the past 25+ years that he's been in the spotlight. Of course, Botox and all that fun stuff will help, but nothing that a little editing certainly can't fix. I actually saw him at TIFF a few years back, and don't get me wrong, he's definitely a good looking guy, but he's for sure aged over the years. But I mean, it's gonna happen, just much more shocking when you look significantly different from your photos. And unfortunately in Brad's case, well, that is the situation. I'm not trying to pit you guys against him. I'm not that funny. Getting to the top 3, we got some names on here that might actually shock you guys. I know I wasn't expecting this one, but at number 3, we got Alec Baldwin. This guy's been around for years, and he was always a Hollywood favorite, but over the years it seems he hasn't aged the most gracefully, to say the least. Maybe when he was on Saturday Night Live imitating Donald Trump, it helped his case a little bit, but when you see this guy on the street, well, he definitely doesn't look very Hollywood. Like most men on this list, he's gotten much older looking with a good amount of wrinkles. Obviously the hair is gray, which is fine, it happens, he could pull it off, but his face has gotten much older over the years, even when comparing him to a few years back. And when you see him in photos, well, his skin does not look that perfect, I can tell you that right now. And at number 2, Khloe Kardashian. Now, truth be told, I probably could have put any of the Kardashians on this list except for Kendall, because like, she's a goddess. However, Khloe has also been caught photoshopping her photos more than once, either making her legs a bit smaller or bigger, her chin a little bit sharper. I mean, it's unfortunate, but this is just the way it goes. It's no secret all the Kardashians have had work done, which is fine, to each their own, but to not only change your appearance physically, but then to do it in photos as well, I mean, doesn't that just kind of like defeat the purpose in the first place? I don't know, if you ask me, we should all just embrace our natural beauty. But then again, there's a reason I look the way I do, and these people look the way they do. So let's move on to number 1. And at number 1, we got Lady Gaga. I mean, she's known to wear the most outrageous costumes, change her looks constantly, and overall be a fashion icon to some. With that being said, if you were to see her out and about, maybe getting groceries or walking her dog, she'd pretty much be unrecognizable. Behind all the heavy costume and makeup, Lady Gaga actually looks insanely different. I mean, just one Google search of Lady Gaga without makeup on, and you could see a totally different person. And I don't mean that in a bad way, of course she's just gonna look different. Lady Gaga is clearly a persona, but she looks way different. I mean, as her, whatever her real name is. Lady? I don't know. 100% unrecognizable for sure, which is probably a good thing. She could kind of live like the best of both worlds, like Hannah Montana, like when she's like Lady Gaga, she's that, and then when she, whatever her real name is, that's who she is.
In at 10, Kylie's butt. The Kardashians and Jenners are pretty well known for having perfectly round bums. But are these bums the result of copious squats, plastic surgery, or something else entirely? Here's a photo that Kylie posted with then beau Travis Scott at the premiere of his new film in Santa Monica. At first glance, everything looks lovely. But if you go and zoom into the car next to Kylie, it's definitely distorted to make Kylie's butt look a lot rounder. Honestly, I don't get why she does this. Kylie's gorgeous just the way she is, and she's the youngest billionaire ever. Everyone likes to think that if they had enough money they wouldn't have a care in the world, but I guess even billionaires have to keep up appearances. At number 9, we got that time that Kim's arm went missing. Back in 2014, Kim was photographed with Jonathan Cheban on a boat in France. The caption was, "Fun night out in Cannes with my best friend." But upon closer inspection of the photo, it became apparent that Kim was missing her right arm. I mean, like, where is it? It's not there. Where did it go? Kim actually ended up editing the caption of this photo to say, where's my arm? So there was some speculation that this photo might not have been photoshopped. It could be just one of those weird optical illusions. Either that, or maybe Kim or Cheban did something to the photo to make his waist look more thin. Maybe, we'll never know, but it's fun to think about. In at 8, Kylie Jenner's Turks and Caicos photo. A 21-year-old Kylie posted this photo to Instagram next to her friend Anastasia that shows her sitting on a daybed. It was taken on a girls trip to Turks and Caicos to celebrate the launch of Kylie's skincare line. Everything looks beautiful, luxurious, and normal, right? Wrong! When fans zoomed into the photo, they saw something very, very wrong with the pillows on the daybed. Here's a photo that shows the Photoshop. The pillow to the left and right of Kylie's body is textured with lines that are not straight. This is because Kylie took in the size of her waist, which inevitably changed the shape of the pillow pixels. I mean, listen, we all look chubs when we sit down. I've got some hella rolls myself, okay? Listen, I just really wanted that cheeseburger. Just let me have it. I need my cheeseburgers. At lucky number 7, we got the Keeping Up with the Kardashians Sweet 16 promo photo. Now this photo is pretty famous and iconic, but not because the Kardashians look great in the photo. It's because of several obvious Photoshop fails. First, let's look at Kendall Jenner. It honestly doesn't even look like she was present for the photograph and was just like photoshopped in, like lying down. She's laying on a bunch of silk that doesn't seem to be affected by her body. Like, I know Kendall is skinny as f, but not skinny enough to not bend silk when she lays on it. Maybe she was busy and couldn't make it to the photo shoot, who knows, but it really doesn't look like she was there for this actual photo. Khloe Kardashian also looks very strange in this photo. I mean, like, where's the rest of her body? And don't even get me started on Kourtney's foot. Look at this. Notice anything weird? There's 6 toes. Maybe she actually does have 6 toes and this isn't Photoshop. But this isn't the only time the Kardashians were called out for feet Photoshop, which leads me to my next point. In at number 6 on our list, we got the time Kim Kardashian and Kylie Jenner's photographer gave them 6 toes. This photo was taken as a promotional image for their perfume collab. It's a pretty dope photo, not gonna lie. Huge fan of those one-legged bodysuits, eh? Sexy. Everything looks normal and fabulous until you look down at their feet, where they're each wearing open-toed sandals. I mean, listen, I see 6 little piggies on each of those feet, and I've counted quite a few times. There are 12 little piggies in this photo. Kim and Kylie never addressed the claims that they photoshopped their feet, but I mean, why would anyone photoshop feet? I feel like that's weird, unless you have really ugly feet. Next up at 5, we're gonna time travel back to a time when Kim Kardashian and Blac Chyna were friends. Oh, shots fired. Here they are together in Kim's walk-in closet. Everything looking normal and bootylicious, right? Wrong, I say! When you take your eyes off their butts for 1 second and look to the left, you can see very obvious distortion of both the door, the carpet, and the tiles on the ground. Either Kim K's walk-in closet defies the laws of physics, or there's some serious photoshopping going on in this photo. Probably to make Kim's waist look thinner, who knows. In at 4, Kris Jenner's flat tummy fail. The whole Kardashian clan have done huge brand deals with scam companies like Flat Tummy Tea, a detox tea marketed to young women that's intended to reduce bloating and the size of your tummy. And also apparently it gives you explosive diarrhea. That's always fun. But a photo posted by momager Kris Jenner intended to show the effects of flat tummy tea was heavily edited, and fans were quick to notice. I mean, look at that though. It's always easy to tell when something's been edited if the background is all wonky. The counter in this photo is totally distorted because the pixels were moved around in order to make Kris's arms look smaller. Her very flat tummy is also distorted. There's blurred pixels next to it. I mean, the whole point of this advertisement is for weight loss. Anyways, I digress. Let's move on. Next on our list at 3, we got the photo that actually forced Kim to disable comments on because the editing was so bad. The photo was posted with the intent to raise awareness for March for Our Lives, a protest to stop gun violence. But instead of people talking about an important topic like gun violence, all anyone could talk about was how bad the editing in this photo was. At first glance, you see Kim K in a parking lot wearing her typical Yeezy-esque attire, and she's also wearing orange for the protest. But I mean, when you look at the rest of the photo, there's a heck of a lot wrong with it. Look at the sidewalk, bro. First of all, I mean, like, do they make curbs like that in LA? Because I'm pretty sure they don't. So to me, it kind of looks like she mirrored part of the photograph, because look at the car in the back. What is that? That's not a car, that's not a motorcycle. Here's the original photo taken by paparazzi, which wasn't taken on the day of the March of Our Lives event. Side by side, you can clearly see that Kim edited out a scar on her right leg, and you can see the full Jeep in the background of the original photo. Kim likely mirrored part of the photo so it would fit better in her Instagram feed. She was too tall to fit in an entire photo. The photo is still up on Kim's account, but the comments are still disabled. Next up at 2, and this one is a doozy. We got the time Kris Jenner reposted a heavily edited photo where an original unedited photo could be seen on Gordon Ramsay's Instagram. All you had to do was just click on his profile and there it was. Gordon Ramsay posted this photo with the caption, "Great seeing you tonight, Kris Jenner. Can't wait to read the cookbook." Kris then posted another photo taken at the same time, not the same photo, but it was really badly edited. You can see the difference when you look at the photos side by side. She even took the time to edit Gordon Ramsay's wrinkles, but she didn't pick the photo of him with his eyes fully open. And at number 1 on our list, Kim Kardashian was once accused by her fans of photoshopping her daughter Northwest to look thinner. I will remind you guys that Northwest was 5 years old at the time. Back in 2019, the Instagram account Fake Girls Yeah posted a before and after of Kim with her kids. Here's the photo Kim posted. Really cute photo, and Kim looks amazing. It was taken by paparazzi during a Kardashian vacation in Bali. Now check out the original photo. You don't see much of a difference, but Northwest's tummy does look a lot flatter in the photo Kim posted. Now check out this gif. Yo, that's brutal. Needless to say, when people found out about this, they were pissed, dude. Photoshopping yourself is one thing, but photoshopping your child? It's insane that Kim Kardashian feels like she has to do this in order to keep up appearances, but that sends a pretty bad message to other children. Kim Kardashian shut down the claims that she photoshopped this picture, and instead she said that she accidentally posted the edited photo without realizing it had been edited. She supposedly took it from a fan account. Who knows what really happened?
Coming at number 10, the eyebrow glitch. Now we've all played around with those fun Snapchat filters, you know, the ones that make you look like a puppy or maybe something scary during a time like Halloween. But where things started to go wrong is when they began uploading filters that enhance feminine features. Now I'm sure this Instagram model was happy to find a matching pink hat and shirt, so she just wanted to flex, but perhaps didn't have the time to do her eyebrows because, how did you not see that eyebrow floating through the brim of the hat? Doesn't take a rocket scientist to say that she's been catfishing this whole time. Coming number 9, Sahar Tabar. Sahar Tabar, whose real name is Fatima Kishfand, initially shocked the world with her attempts at looking like actress Angelina Jolie. Before her account was deleted, she had garnered around 486,000 followers by regularly posting photos of her haunting new look. Many people believe that Sahar had gone through some drastic cosmetic surgeries to achieve this look though. However, she has now made it very public that this look was actually achieved through makeup and Photoshop. According to Mail Online, Sahar posted a picture of her former appearance for the first time. She admitted to having some surgery to her face, including a nose job, lip fillers, and liposuction, but she is also quoted as saying, "This is Photoshop and makeup. Every time I publish a photo, I paint my face in an increasingly funny way. It is a way of expressing yourself, a kind of art. My fans know that this is not my real face." Coming to break, Khloe. This Chinese influencer was exposed by a Facebook user named Extreme for posting some pretty extremely altered photos of herself and a friend online. The original photos that she was sharing made her face look almost doll-like, with extremely airbrushed looking faces as well. This side-by-side comparison shows a dramatic difference between the catfishing images she was posting online and what the reality was. In another photo, she actually forgot to take a reflection out of the nearby window, which is most likely where this Facebook user that exposed her first was tipped off that this social media star may be catfishing people. And at number 7, Hushpuppi. Nigerian influencer Hushpuppi once flaunted a life of luxury that many became very envious of. He seemed to have it all, from penthouses to expensive cars. Hushpuppi was always posting about his lavish lifestyle. He often attached messages of motivation, but now people are realizing that it was all just a big scam. Recently, he admitted to conning people out of at least $24 million, including $1 million that was meant for a children's hospital in Qatar. Anytime someone inquired about how Hushpuppi gained his wealth, he would claim that he amassed his fortune by playing the real estate market in Dubai. However, this facade that he was putting forth was broken apart by FBI agents who raided the influencer's home and found $41 million in cash, 13 luxury cars valued at around $6.8 million, and phone and computer evidence containing more than 100,000 fraud files, and the addresses of nearly 2 million possible victims. He was then arrested and flown to the US, where he was transferred to a jail in California, where he will await his sentencing. And at number 6, Soya No Sohi. A young and beautiful Japanese motorcycle enthusiast turned out to be a 50-year-old man using an app to transform himself. The real person behind the account is a father of 3 and former competitive bodybuilder Yasuo Nakajima. Vice originally exposed him as being the ultimate catfish on the Japanese Monday Late Show once their production had caught up with him in person. He then would admit on live TV that he had been fooling people for months using this face app because he thought that no one would be interested in following a middle-aged man. Although this admission that he had adopted a persona stunned his fans, but it actually helped his follower count. People were like, "Oh, cool, he's telling the truth now, I'll follow him." In number 5, Belle Gibson. Back in the early days of Instagram, influencer Belle Gibson was one of the first major con artists. In the 2010s, this Australian wellness influencer got tons of followers for promoting a diet of clean eating and launching an app called The Whole Pantry. Here's where things started to get a little weird though. She told her followers that this diet that she had created had been helping her battle and even cured multiple types of cancer, including a brain tumor. After doing tons of tours and speaking gigs, she said that she had been diagnosed with more cancer. Following that, she released a cookbook and promised her followers that the proceeds would all be going to various charities. However, in March of 2015, a report surfaced that said the $300,000 she made had not been donated anywhere. She then tried to claim that she had been falsely diagnosed with cancer, but then later admitted that she never had any type of cancer. And by 2017, a federal court in Melbourne had ordered her to pay $410,000 in fines for false charity claims, and the catfishing that she was leading a healthy life when she truly wasn't. Just scamming her fans. And at number 4, Marta Rentel. We spoke about Marta Rentel on this channel before. If you recall, she was the influencer that was selling her love as an NFT for a whopping $250K. Marta is a Polish influencer who is very forward about the separation of an online persona that she has and herself in real life. So this is why I put her on this list. You can't be out here faking some online persona and scamming people out of money and not make it onto a list like this. Getting exposed for, catfishing or living a fake life doesn't always have to happen by way of randos online. It can sometimes be the influencer themselves. She actually said that her online persona is Marta Rentel, which is who this lucky winner will be receiving love from. It's such a farce that I can't even keep it together whenever I read back over this information. Rentel is clearly faking an online personality to just trick men into paying for love. Artificial love. And at number 3, Julia Stakhiva. Back in 2016, Julia had appeared on a morning show and claimed to be the daughter of a billionaire. Famously, she was the woman that claimed she was too beautiful to work. She also claimed that she would fly from her home in London to Russia just to get her hair done. However, shortly after bragging about her luxurious lifestyle, she was exposed for renting out a nice place specifically for the filming of her appearance on the show called Rich Kids. However, when the camera crew arrived, she actually tried to pretend that the place was hers, but it wasn't. It was an Airbnb. Coming in number 2, Her Royal Highness. Fans of this popular Chinese video blogger got quite the shock upon finding out that she wasn't exactly who she said she was. The blogger, who referred to herself as Your Highness, just so happened to have a technical glitch during one of her live streams that accidentally revealed to her audience that she was not the young, glamorous woman that she was portraying. Turns out she was catfishing this whole time. You see, what happened was, during a joint live stream, she was urged by her fans to show her face and remove the filter that she had been using, but she refused, apparently adding, "I can't show my face until I receive gifts worth 100,000 yuan. After all, I'm a good-looking host." Followers apparently began sending her donations, but at some point the filter she was using stopped working, revealing that she was actually just a middle-aged woman. Although she didn't notice the glitch until people began leaving her VIP access room in large numbers. Not that there's anything wrong with being a middle-aged woman, but there is something wrong with faking that you're somebody else. That's all I'm saying. Last but certainly not least, our number 1 spot, Danielle Cohn. This teen influencer has more than 1 million subscribers, but her way of getting those clicks was very controversial. She actually posted a video with a title alluding to the fact that she was expecting a child. Many were already creeped out thinking that she was 15 years old, and it became even more shocking to discover that she was actually 13 years old. During an interview with her father, he said, "For years I have done the diplomatic thing while dealing with my daughter being online in a way I didn't approve of and trying to have it handled out of social media because I figured the system would work and keep my daughter safe." AKA, he thought the internet would do all the parenting for him. Turns out, no.